Kwathi kaloku ngantsomi, there was a very humble boy in a nearby village called Malejezi. Malejezi was the son of a well-respected king, which made him a prince. One day, Malejezi and his friends were ordered by the king to go fetch the livestock from the neighboring village, as they were given instructions on what route to take. The instructions were to use the south road, even though it was the longest route, yet the safest. They were told not to take the north road, for it was not safe, and the villagers who went there never came back, even though the route was the shortcut. The boys seemed to understand the instructions, as they all agreed, including Malejezi, the prince. On their way to the neighboring village, they followed the instructions very well, with no doubts. They finally arrived in their destination. On arrival, the boys were very tired and thirsty. The boys fetched the livestock as they were ordered to. In their surprise, it was quite a number of livestock than they expected. Because the boys were exhausted as they had a long journey. With a lot of cows, sheep, and goats, they started doubting to take the safe long south road as it was getting late. They convinced each other to take a shortcut, which is the north dangerous road. They now had to convince Malejezi with this idea of theirs, as he was expected to make the final decision as a prince. Humble and compassionate Malejezi agreed with them, forgetting the loud and clear instructions. Malejezi had a beautiful dog that he loved so dearly, so he was always with his dog everywhere he goes. Well, they took the north road as they all agreed. Meet halfway the road. At first, the road was clear and clean. As they go forth, they noticed a shady bush. They started to panic, as it was already dusk. Again, livestock on bushes might get lost, but they consoled themselves by saying, "At least we are a few miles away from home. We are almost there, and at least these are just bushes." As they get inside the bushes, they felt creep and stuff. They panicked and ran, all to find out it's the forest monsters. The monsters started to chase them. They were crying as they were all running. The boys started to put a burden on Malejezi to protect them, as he was the son of the king. Malejezi didn't know what to do as well.
Malejezi thetha mfondini ngumntana enkosi saze safa namhlanje uthi masithini?
Lithi makathetha thini noMalejezi, hayi le ndlela ingaphezulu, ndaze ndoyika madoda, thatha nanzo lonkomo kabawo.
The journey was now the survival of the fittest. Malejezi had to take a very difficult decision, as he had to protect himself as well. The decision Malejezi took was to sacrifice the livestock to the monsters. The monsters ate all the livestock, but continued chasing them.
Malejezi ngumntana enkosi thetha kuthweni ngoku?
Lithi makathetha thini noMalejezi, hayi le ndlela ingaphezulu, ndaze ndoyika madoda, thatha nango lo mfana kabawo.
Malejezi had no choice but to sacrifice his friends to the monsters. But the monsters continued chasing them after they ate all Malejezi's friends. Malejezi had no choice but to sacrifice the closest thing in his life, his dog.
Sithini?
Uthi makathetha thini noMalejezi, hayi le ndlela ingaphezulu, ndaze ndoyika madoda, thatha nanzo lo mfana kabawo.
Fortunately, Malejezi's dog managed to fight for his life until they arrived home with no cattle, no sheep, no goats, and no friends. Only Malejezi and his dog with bruised bodies.
Phela phela ngantsomi.